Hello and welcome to the Holy Hour podcast. It's the bi-weekly All Cure podcast and we are in it now. We are in the thick of it. 2022 Euro Tour officially has a name. As of October 6th, the tour kicked off and it is the Lost World Tour.
Yeah, so it's the World Tour 2022. They just threw Lost on the end of it.
Okay.
I guess for the album that got, has disappeared.
True, and I think they should have probably gone with the, not to criticize right off the bat, but maybe Songs of the Lost World Tour or something, just calling it full on Lost World. I just can't help but picture dinosaurs a little too much. But
yeah, sexy Jeff Goldblum.
At this point, whatever. Let's just have the boys out there playing some songs. So we are here. I'm Gavin, and Chaz has joined me. How's it going, my man?
It's going all right. Enjoying seeing everybody having fun at the shows and posting pictures and everything. So yeah,
it's crazy excitement out there.
Trying to suppress my jealousy.
No kidding. I was just a total mess the first day for sure. We'll go through all the days as so far, but I was just pacing around, updating my phone way too early. I think a lot of us, were in the same boat, just not really knowing what to expect, how excited to even be. I feel like it's already starting to just kind of boil down to, I'll refresh my phone, just keep peeking at the set list, but I'm not totally flipping through who has the live thing going, who has this going, what is this, what is that, So I think we're starting to hopefully get into a calm flow of interesting versus insane panic, which I was at earlier last week.
Yeah, I was there too. It's gotten a little less. I was at work when the Stockholm show was going on, and I just didn't check until after my shift. Just to look at the whole set list, and I started texting you guys. So
it was too. So it's pretty exciting, and I guess we're only 3 dates in technically. I'm gonna try to crank this out as soon as we're done talking almost, and that way we can stay on top of it. So anybody out there following the show, these might drop just on random days. So be sure to subscribe so you can get them, and then we'll just kind of feed it through and then start to just go back to normal shows and maybe do little quickie tour updates based on what we have or whatever happens on the tour. So, but this will probably be a full-on episode to kick the tour off and just share our thoughts as we went through the first 3 shows day by day and the excitement that unfolded. And so I guess I thought a cool way to start would be everything that led up to the first day, that we had some little nuggets dropping. If you don't mind going in time order, we can drop your thoughts and feelings too as those go. Does that sound good? Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's kick it off then. October 6th, last Thursday it was. Feels like ages ago now.
Yeah.
And we were in Riga and they were kicking off their tour. And as the hour grew near, we started getting a few little nuggets. Like we said, the first thing to drop was the new logo, and everybody texted it around to each other, and we all were like, "Sweet, this logo looks pretty rad." It's got a similar vibe to the old, kind of drippy ink fonts and such. I've heard people comparing it to the mixed up / kiss me font a little bit.
Could see that. I just it's a hell of a lot better than what they've been going with.
Yeah, so that was a good first step for sure. I was like, I'd wear that on a t-shirt.
It's bold enough to say best logo since Wish.
Maybe. Let's see. As I go through them in my head.
You could say, I know some people might say Wild Mood Swings.
Yeah.
Did the bold,
it's a good
fat.
Blocky.
Yeah.
That one was pretty cool, but I kind of like this one a little better, maybe. So.
Yeah. So I'm I might say it's the best. I do like Wild Mood Swings artwork. But I think as a logo for the band, I like this one a lot.
So that's pretty cool. A few ponderings if parched art is involved in any way, but no real way to figure that out until we
Till they open up their Twitter account again and start posting shit.
Exactly. So we may never know there. But so we got the logo going. Shortly after that, they released the hashtag that seemed semi-official from the band, and that is the hashtag The Cure Lost World 22. So that's when we kind of could cement that in for everything. The other mysterious drop was during, I guess, people coming in early or sound check even. I think something leaked out with the two keyboards on stage. That was a mysterious, why is there a keyboard far stage right and a keyboard far stage left? We know Roger's good, but he's not running back and forth to play half the riff on one side of the stage and on the other. So yeah, I kind of was like, a few people were speculating, but I was like, it wouldn't be too crazy if Reeves plays a few little riffs on a keyboard while, standing there, I was like, and then I was like, I didn't really trust the picture. It was kind of shitty anyway. So I was like, it's probably just Twilight Sad's keyboardist, has their shit up there in front of the stage or whatever. But, so we would find out. It was a very drastic surprise for us all. Which kind of led to the last minute thing. I didn't realize on our last post on a Facebook group, I don't even remember which one it was, but some mysterious person that I clicked the other day, and they didn't even really have many posts or anything. And he said something along the lines of this massive surprise is going to be so huge. And I kind of just ran with it, and I was like, I know, I can't wait. and they were like, I can't believe this, they're going to actually do this, kind of egging it on more. I'm like, all right, I have to admit, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but on top of them playing an amazing show, I'm sure it'll be great. And they're like, oh, you don't know. And then I was like, I was talking to KC, I was like, should I just ask them? Clearly they're hinting at something. And so I even sent a private message, and I was like, hey, man, just between us, you know something that's going down, and I won't say a word, and didn't hear anything, of course, till after the show. Oops, I didn't see your message, but I guess you know now. So
you're part of the media.
Now I'm just curious how they knew, they must have been hanging out or something. But shortly before, there were a few little tricklings of a Perry comment. I saw somebody's like, Perry's in the building kind of thing. So it was starting to leak out. But before we get to that, Twilight Sad took the stage. I saw one clip, sounded very Twilight Sad. Seems like they're in solid form still and doing great, keeping it short and sweet. Everyone's happy. So cool. Sounds like exactly what you would expect there. The new merch got photographed before the show started too. It looks pretty rad. I think we were all kind of like, I'd buy that.
It's pretty simple. The one is just the logo, and I think the date's on the back, and then the other one is just the black and white or one color of the artwork for the new album or the tour at least.
So it looks like a planet,
I like that one a
maybe, with some kind of circular thing. I'm assuming a planet. There was the clearer picture of the poster, I guess, or maybe a tour program or something that looks more like real artwork. But the T-shirt with the circle planet, whatever going on there too, looks cool. They're all good colors. There's some bucket hats in there for the bucket hat collectors. So that was fun to see.
I would put it's a lot scaled back from the 2016 tour.
Yeah.
Where they had just way too many shirts and too many bad designs.
Yeah.
And this is very stripped down. We have two different styles and maybe 3 colors.
Yeah, and
which is fine.
It was all just black, white, and gray. Those are all the shirt colors you need for a Cure shirt.
So. And tour program probably have some badges, maybe some buttons, maybe smaller things here and there.
Wasn't it a tote bag? I think it's something with the same logo on it. Yeah. So
I'll wait till it all goes on sale from the tour leftovers. So
totally. And I guess it's safe to assume if the album art, like you said, was done and such, that this is at least the logo and something similar, if not exactly it. So kind of cool. Any further proof is nice to know that it's out there. And then we get going back to our reference of the second keyboard, the big surprise. surprise, all of it immediately unveils as they take the stage, and Perry Monty is in the band, not in the crowd. He walks up from stage. Now he comes out with the band, and they don't really acknowledge him or anything. He just kind of takes his spot far right, stage right there, and has a little keyboard and his guitars, and joins the party. So it's great to have Perry back. How rad is that? That's totally out of fucking left field. I don't think we had that in our predictions, did we?
No, but like, honestly, well, from a musician standpoint, what does he bring to the band as being a second keyboardist?
It's slightly weird.
Third guitarist?
That's where we're kind of like pondering it, because one, I think it's everyone loves Perry, so we're like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
don't
want
that.
it to sound
that's not the issue. I don't have an
issue
issue with it. I'm just like, what's the benefit other than a fan favorite?
Exactly. That was like
the band.
Just my disclaimer, because I mean, between like even in the normal position, you didn't have. I mean, I guess like Pearl's pretty amazing too to be playing with, but like Reeves definitely has the guitar shit covered with Robert up there too. Roger's like over the top keyboard, he could play everything with like, so it's like, what the hell is it?
Another percussionist.
So it is a little odd. You would think if it was all for the new songs, like they didn't really seem to have that much extra going on even on the new tunes. And he was playing keyboards for those. So it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, you think they'd be playing more of the new songs. Maybe they're gonna slowly start piling them on more. But it is a little odd, because I was just kind of like the same thing. They haven't had 6 people since fucking Kiss Me tour, and that was like Lowell was the 6th, and in the phase of who knows how he was like a half really at that point. I don't think so. I mean, having somebody that used to hold down all the guitar front pretty much, and he's just kind of playing the extra stuff. I mean, there's when you're playing huge things like that, he can double parts and stuff. There's no shortage of making it cool, but at the same time, how necessary is a little weird. You almost just got the vibe that they hung out like a week earlier and they had a really good time, and they're like, "Fuck it, join." He's like, "Sure, I'll just play some stuff," And so,
But well, I want to know what he does during Edge of a Deep Green Sea.
Yeah. I mean, the funny clip. I think it's just
he just hits the one with Roger. They both hit the one button.
That's a good one, because Robert's playing the acoustic, so
there's a lot of stuff
he can do the wall of sound stuff a bit more, which was also weird, because I was kind of like, oh cool, that must mean more Wish stuff maybe, because that is kind of catered to like the like Open and stuff would have more, where you could just have a feedback guitar going, kind of shoegaze stuff going a lot more, because that's what I love, like with Wish tours when they did have the 3 guitars going. And it was a pretty short little blip in their timeline of how rad that was, and I think they probably are going to add that in, and it seems it's a little hard to tell just from what we've seen, because we're only really looking at like phone clips and stuff on YouTube, so it's really hard to not get a full idea who's doing what part and adding what layer, but it is a little odd. But
I mean, I'm all for it. Do you think? I mean, I know you think that like maybe the week before they just got together and hashed this out, but like, do you think that he did anything on the new album?
I don't think so. It seems like that would have leaked out by now. It's almost a miracle that they
nothing's leaked out though. Like there's been no information on it.
Yeah, I mean, he could be hanging out with them for the past 3 years. Then who knows? Yeah, maybe
Pandemic,
he did.
Those weird things, man.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the albums are always weird too, because Robert gets in there and probably ends up like doing 90% of it anyway. It would, no matter the lineup. But he could possibly be on it. Yeah, that would be rad. Yeah. It would definitely make more sense why he's back if he was part of it. And at least the creation of it all. So definitely cool to have him back. Been getting random messages from people of like concerns of the whole band, but also Perry in particular, of just kind of everyone's very stone faced on this so far. Like it's hard to tell, like without looking at real footage. Robert definitely bops around there and like close to me and stuff normally, but they're like, for a guy that's been out for that many years, there was no like, hey, like a little smile to the crowd. Everybody's very like Like it's like I'm assuming they're happy. I don't know. It's the Cure. You can't really expect them to come out like yeah, like pumped up and high fiving and stuff. But I'm sure
That might be part of the joke for Robert, where it's just like, let's just pretend like nothing happened and like they're freaking out and like we're not going to say anything.
yeah.
This is funny for us, which is fine. I get it.
Yeah.
That's something I would
So
think is funny,
it's
but
a little odd,
you
and they're
know,
probably focused as shit. You know, it's a big deal, and he hasn't been on that big of a stage in forever. So I'm sure he's a little freaked out. You know, and you're just kind of you're not really there to smile and ham it up.
Yeah.
You know, they probably are all of them. Or I wouldn't say rusty, but I mean it's definitely the longest they've gone without playing a show. They kind of want to make sure these first few ones go like everything very tight and perfect, probably. So, or it's going to be a brutal 46 shows if they just get out there. They're all sloppy and shit. So it could be a nerves thing and just wanting to be super focused. But I'm not worried yet, is what I'm saying. I think if I can't imagine that they're all fighting yet. 3 shows into the
probably not. They're too old to be fighting.
yeah, they don't even care.
Except betrayal.
They all got their separate hotels after the show anyway. See you tomorrow, same time.
Speaking of that, and this goes out to fans.
Yeah.
Stop bothering these people in their fucking hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Let them at least get to the street before you start paparazziing them. They're 60. How old are they now?
At least 62, I think. Robert, 62, 63. So, yeah.
Let this dude get his tea and shit and get out the door at least before you start snapping photos of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're probably playing it off like this is okay and whatnot, but like,
Yeah.
dude, like it's just like, just wait outside.
Right. So, there was a little round of that going. I didn't totally dive into it, but some kind of statement had been sent out even of because it was like a batch of photos that were very like holding the camera real low and snap. They're like glaring at them and stuff, you know. So you could tell it was not like, hey, cool, take a picture with you. It was definitely a little creepy and weird, you know. So just let them be.
People are like, and I think I commented on one of the things on Facebook, and somebody was like, "Oh, they don't seem to have a problem with it." And I'm like, "Well, you don't know that because they're not going to be a dick to you.
Right.
Like, that's not something they do, you know." And you know they're not Axl Rose, and they're not going to smash your camera, you know. So
Bjork on you and just
So just chill.
Yeah,
just
it
chill.
just seems it's not going to be a great picture. It's kind of like one of those deals where, you want a blurry picture of them 50 yards away at the, hanging out in the lobby. Really, it's not like, is that going to do anything? So,
but speaking of that, I've seen a ton of great photos.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people have been able to get really close.
Yeah.
Seems like, I don't know how things work in Europe. I assume there's a pit, but like it seems like a lot of people are getting a lot of great close photographs. So yeah.
Yeah, there's already been stuff, and I don't know if this is just a new wave of social media stuff or whatever, but I noticed even like on official Cure posts, they're taking, well, I'm assuming fan shots and giving them credit and stuff, but like that's cool. Pretty rad. Yeah, if you got your photo used, you'd be like, oh. So
yeah.
I guess the new songs that got debuted right off the bat. That's been a pretty consistent thing. But that first show in particular opens with "Alone," which we originally had some names shifting around of what it could possibly be called, but somebody saw or snagged the set list pretty quickly, and it became officially "Alone." And that would kick off the set and close the regular set with "End Song," and. Both super epic, super dramatic, super depressing. Definitely lives up to that hype of everything he said in the interviews of this is the most doom and gloom. It's like, no smudging of the facts there. These are definitely heavy songs, but I don't know. I think people are pretty open to them and digging them. I like them a lot.
I was digging them. I feel like they're a lot like, I don't know, like there's some comparisons that I've been trying to parse out of like some stuff on Wild Mood Swings and like just more of like the epic stuff that's longer and drawn out. But yeah, I'm really, really digging them. It's definitely not Freak Show or anything like that. So it's or Alt End or anything like that. So it's definitely not going Let's Scream. and
Yeah,
rock out. So I'm more down with that
for
than anything
sure.
else. So yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of my main comparison. Was it almost has like a it could never be the same
Mm-hmm.
vibe,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
where the music even is pretty intense and kind of like almost rocking out at times, or but it's just like a really tight kind of like
Mm-hmm.
badass vibe, but he's singing it. He's not. If it had been
Mm-hmm.
like one of the ones on self-titled, he'd be yelling at it, or even stuff on 413 near the end, where it starts
Yeah.
getting a little too like raw. Like
Yeah.
these are very like emotional where he's singing it, and I'm all on board on that. It's like hopefully shaping up to be like better blood flowers in a sense, or it's these songs that
Yeah.
aren't necessarily like I was worried at first. I was like, I don't know how catchy it is. I really like it, but like at the same time, just the catchy factor that he's so good at. But then like even just a few listens into these now, I'm like, oh yeah, it does have like a pretty cool little riff, and I think they'll stick in your head
Yeah.
pretty quick when you start really listening to them, especially any kind of studio recorded version. But yeah, so they might just be kind of slow burn ones to a certain degree, for lack of a better term, but just ones that you grow on you.
They don't have anything in the song I don't like that
Yeah,
The Cure does sometimes. Like it
right,
doesn't
right.
have the hard rock kind of thing. It doesn't have the psychedelic if only tonight we could sleep kind of
Right.
vibe to it. And it's not
It's not
they're not
yelling.
throwaways either.
Yeah,
So
so
so it's not there's a lot to like that I'm not gonna of course I gotta hear them, outside of just these live performances.
yeah,
But yeah, the two songs that they played in 2016, they feel like they could flow into these. I don't know if it's going to be part of the album.
yeah,
If it is, they've got five songs,
yeah,
so that we have
yeah. I
heard.
don't.
And from what I gather, everybody pretty much liked the two that they played in 2016.
Yeah,
And if seems like everybody, for the most
yeah.
part, I haven't heard the third new one yet.
Oh yeah,
That's the one I
yeah.
haven't gotten around to yet. Was busy today writing some stuff, but
Yeah, it's cool. We'll get to that, and
yeah.
I'll try not to spoil it too much for you. But it's hard to spoil a song, I guess, by describing it to you. So I'll get you pumped for it by describing it, because that one has a slightly different feel to it, I thought. But these two are very much in the same vein, and cool. And we
Yeah.
did. It was at least one point for us on our predictions episode, last one, where we said one of the possibilities was opening and closing the set with the presumably first song and last song of the new album. So I guess we'll still
Yeah.
we don't know, but end song has got to be the last song on the new album. You would
Yeah,
think.
hopefully.
And,
I still don't like the fact that they're opening up the shows with a brand new song. I think probably by the end of the tour, halfway through the tour, it'll become everybody will get the words
yeah.
and the beats and everything, and it'll become a more popular song to sing along to. But like to start off, it's like,
Yeah, it is hard because you're not super pumped other than it just being a new song. You don't like that when you hear the chimes or the feedback for open or you know what I mean. It isn't like something that gets you like here we go, but
yeah,
same time the fact that it's a new song I think is enough to get you going. So I'm all for it. I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, just happy he wasn't yelling on him. That was my. Thank you for singing. So yeah, that show 25 songs they played, which would be the shortest of the three so far. So I don't know if they're just building up, endurance and stamina as they go, or they just decided they could do a couple more. But yeah, 25 songs. As far as the set list, I guess then, it's hard to you see the people who are all surprised how many little bitches are going on about the complaining about it, but at the same time, it was like it is technically by terms a fairly standard set list as far as there weren't too many surprises in there. Trust
Yeah.
was probably the rarest one on that first night, as far as like rarities,
Yeah.
but I was just like, if you were there in particular, that set list was solid. It had like plenty of hits and then just semi deep cuts and just fan favorites. I mean, it's a good fucking set list. So there's really no room to complain. But
Oh, I can complain.
Uh-oh,
Not a fan of 39.
yeah.
I think that you should, if you're gonna play anything off that album, there's other songs you can go with. This set was probably my favorite out of all three so far.
Okay.
Just because it's very disintegration heavy.
Yeah.
Let's see, you have one, two, three, four,
Have they played Closed Down
five,
since? I don't
six,
think they
seven.
have they?
Yeah, they play
Yeah.
close down. So
But I mean,
seven songs
yeah.
from Disintegration on the first show.
Yeah.
Uh, the only one, it's kind of weird because the first encore they play plain song Disintegration,
Hmm.
then they go off again, and then they follow it up with Lullaby, and then
Yeah.
they go into like the standard hits,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
just weird to me. They should have just put them all three of the encore, all three of the Disintegration songs together, and then
Yeah.
called the second encore with all the hits. But whatever, not stupid things to complain about. But
Right. Yeah, like my side note of like not only if you were there you would be totally happy with this set list, but at the same time
oh,
too, it's like yeah, it's easier to like dissect it when you're just looking at setlist.fm. You're like, yeah, oh really? That song, you know? But like if you're in the moment, you're like, fuck yeah, load it up. Here we go, 39. You know?
yeah.
But
Well, yeah. I mean,
maybe not that one for you, but
yeah, but like they
yeah, I'm kind
played,
of done with that one too. But he seems to really like it, so I guess it's good to have it in
yeah,
there. But
played Burn. I mean, you can't really complain
yeah,
with that.
which has been
Went
on
pretty
all of
heavy
them,
on,
so that's cool that
yeah,
that's kind of just cemented now in there. We were a
yeah,
little worried about that with our last episode, if that was gonna just be one that floated in and out of our lives and we were never gonna hear it again. But it seems like yeah, that's pretty solid. So that's cool.
yeah. I
Um,
will say that there's no hot heat or hot heat, hot, and why can't I be you?
yeah.
And also what else we joke about that there wasn't?
As
Um,
far as noticeable absences,
never enough.
yeah, never enough and wrong number officially haven't appeared on any of the shows yet. So maybe they kind of got their fill of that too. And yeah, I mean, this encore too is pretty solid. I think all 3 days have the exact same order in songs. The third one they add primary in at the end,
I like that.
which
Yeah.
is cool. But I love like while this on paper looks kind of like close to me, Friday I'm in Love, just like but I mean those are all like ones they have to fucking play, and I love this idea of like just pounding through these classics at the
Mm-hmm.
end versus the 2019 finale was like "Why Can't I Be You" into like "Close to Me." It was more of just like
Mm-hmm.
the whimsical Kira that always drove Donald crazy, But it was
Yeah.
a good finale because you want to go home like going, yeah, that was fun, But at the same time, this works better, like just because usually like just like Heaven and in particular and In Between Days, I think that wasn't on Riga. Where was that? Did they not play In Between Days? Oh yeah, it was way earlier. But the other shows they kind of put that down there
There you go.
too. So having like
Yeah.
In Between Days, just like Heaven, Boys Don't Cry, like all within like arm's reach of and Friday I'm in Love. Really, it's just kind of like masterpiece pop sons, at the end
Yeah.
there, where you're just like,
It's
whoa,
a big pop meatball, and
yeah,
everybody's gonna take a bite.
and I love it. Yeah, so it's just on your way out, grab some pop.
Yeah.
But
And I think that's a great way to end a Cure concert.
yeah,
I think they've ended. I've seen one where they ended on "Killing an Arab," and I'm like, meh.
yeah.
I'm just like, okay,
Yeah, that used to
but
be a
like,
pretty regular closer, but it seems like Boys Don't Cry has pretty much locked that down now for the last few tours.
yeah, I'm fine with that. Not that I don't
Yeah.
like love "Killing an Arab," but I don't think that's the way that uh should walk out of a Cure concert. You know. So, but yeah, "Boys Don't Cry," or if you really end with "Faith" or something,
Yeah.
they have everybody completely distraught walking out. But
Yeah, I don't know if they'll
one
ever
or
go
the
that
other.
route anymore. Yeah, the encores, they can bum them out and then come back and pop them up again. But yeah, we'll see how they go by the end of the tour. Maybe they will be just like totally busting out Faith
Well,
at the end.
each of the first encores have all centered around one album. It looks like
Yeah, and that's a
the first
pattern we wouldn't
encore.
pick up on until I felt like this third show was the one that kind of confirmed it, because they've done that in the past where they've just done like a one-off, this will be our little 17 seconds encore, and then like the next night it'll be totally different. But this seems to be the pattern, which would be rad if they can stick to it. And there's a lot of speculation going on that now, because everybody has a little something to look forward to with each show. It would be cool, because that is like, did you go on Disintegration night? Did you go on Faith night or something? But I hope they like really commit to it too and do like all of them, like even if you get the 413 encore or the
get the self-titled night.
Yeah, it was like, oh man.
The encore, like, Jesus Christ.
But that'd be rad if they
halfway across the world for this.
Totally. But cool too.
No, but like the second night was looks like 17 seconds.
Yeah.
It was very heavy, and then the third night was pornography.
So yeah. I could almost see them kind of just sticking to those early ones and bouncing around between that and Disintegration and not doing the full, but I mean they probably have enough, at least 3 songs on standby from every album where they could do it. That would be kind of cool, I think. So hopefully they'll time will tell. I guess
so. Can we do the second night real quick?
Yeah. Are we done with the first kind of seeing if there's anything else. Just that they came out, seemed tight, and sounded. Robert's voice was pure gold from the start. I thought nobody seemed like they had lost a step or anything, or had a weird limp or anything. Nobody had the visible signs of COVID damage or anything like that from the last 3 years. So that was good to see. Let's go to Helsinki. Yeah, Finland. Skipped a day, so now we're at October 8th. This time 27 songs, but 2 more on the list there. And Perry's still there, so that was cool to see. It wasn't just like
not kicked out of the band.
He just happened to live in Riga now and was like, yeah, I'll just come in. And so I think he's hanging out for a while at least, so that's good. Yeah, as far as set list, I guess on that is the main topic, like most of these will be. We had a couple new ones thrown in, so that was cool that they were just rotating them in, like we were saying, just as far as favorites or whatever. This one was cool because they threw some in, but they didn't really necessarily swap out ones that I would prefer, so it was kind of like, it's like, but at the same time it was cool. Kyoto Song entered the mix in Charlotte Sometimes.
Yeah,
and
great.
If only tonight we could sleep. They said, is Chaz here? This one's for Chaz out there. And Cold, which is cool.
How can you go from if tonight we could sleep into Cold? That doesn't make any sense. Was it right next to it?
Oh, it did.
Yeah,
they played
one,
it right
two.
after it. Wow. Yeah, well.
Yeah, I fucking love that they play Cold.
Yeah, I guess anywhere in the
Cold and Burn next to each other.
Yeah, that's a nice. And then into Fascination Street. So yeah.
Oh my
god.
Been, yeah, I
totally would have made up for.
I would just be punching people.
Yeah. All the passionate rage would just be uncontrollable. So, and then Hungry Ghost would calm you down real fast, I think.
That's such a head scratcher.
Yeah.
That like. It's an okay song off that album, but definitely not one of the better ones.
Yeah,
that was like a mid.
Does seem to lean on that one if he's gonna play one from 413, if not only one. But yeah, it's kind of cool that something's representing at least, but at the same time. Wouldn't be my go-to,
No.
Underneath the Stars is so good, but so hard to put anywhere other than the opener. That like how would you? Hopefully they'll do a little encore of that. That would be cool.
That's what I was thinking. That would be cool to come out to an encore too. Hell yeah.
And then we're straight into Hungry Ghost.
Hell yeah. Right into Freak Show.
Yeah. Like real. So yeah, so those are pretty cool ones. And then so Kyoto Song would be cool. That always just reminds me of In Orange when they play that live, so that's kind of cool. And
it's a great song. I wish they would play like Sinking or The Blood or something else off that album.
There's still time, maybe.
Yeah.
So
first encore.
Yeah, this is where you
fucking
get
awesome.
The 17 seconds one. And and fuller, I guess maybe just because the songs are shorter, they got to do At Night, M, and Play for Today, and Forest. So that's a pretty rad little block there for sure. I was
Yeah,
hoping M.
yeah,
I didn't really get to say that in the last episode. That would be a cool regular one to have back in there again. Is M,
yeah,
would
yeah.
be always cool live. So yeah, that's pretty rad. And perhaps a set.
Same second encore, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this was the same pretty much. With in between days
They
bumped
added the
down
wall.
into it.
No, in between days they added, or they moved that down.
Yeah, moved
Okay,
it
yeah,
down. It
yeah.
was earlier in
Okay.
the set the day before, but yeah, so
That's
that's
a
pretty cool.
beefy. That's a 7-song encore. That's a beefy
Yeah,
encore,
I
man.
guess they're just so like fun that nobody was like counting. But yeah, I mean, in past shows they probably would have taken a little break after the fourth one of that and come out and done three more, so it might seem
Yeah.
longer. Does seem like the shows on a whole are slightly shorter, like they had hinted at they were doing, but not like by normal band standards, but by like Cure standards.
Well, Setlist.fm has a tour average counter for the times,
Okay,
and
and
tour average so far is 2 hours and 15 minutes for
okay,
playtime.
so that's a little shorter. They were at least like 2:30, I think, for the
Yeah,
maybe not
I
the
think
festival ones,
their
but
average time is 2:28.
okay for this tour.
No,
Or
just
for
in
in
overall.
general,
So,
okay, so not really, just about 15 minutes shorter, maybe, but
well, yeah, but I mean, I think that counts in the festivals and everything where
yeah,
you're playing like a 2 hour set. So,
yeah.
uh, I would probably say they play about 2:45 usually when we like every time I've seen them.
Yeah,
Except
I
for
mean, I
when they
think they
played at the
kind of,
Beacon, where there was the first three albums, so that was like a 3.5 hours, three and
yeah,
a half hour set.
definitely
So
that 2016 tour is where they really stretched it out more.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they kind of painted themselves into that corner in a sense that everyone's like, "Come
Play
on, man!
more.
I know you got 4 hours in you." And they're like, "Jeez, get off my back! I just played for 2 hours." And a lot of these newer songs added into the set list, and with Edge of the Deep Green Sea, there's some long boys in there for sure.
Yeah.
Pictures of You. I mean, when you look at the number, it's like, I was looking for a little set that we're gonna do over the weekend at this party thing, and I was like, "Well, the Cure played 25 songs," but I was like, "Yeah, but mine are all like 2.5 minutes long, and there's like seven." So I mean, it's a different kind of set list when you got those real long songs in there. But yeah, so pretty
If the
cool.
Ramones can do it, you can do it, Gavin.
Yeah, and I need like 50 songs fucking play for times. So yeah, and I guess just on top of the first one too, a huge shout outs for setlist.fm. I feel like it's really cool that they've stepped it up where they're not only updating it in real time. I don't remember them being the go-to ones like that on the last tour, but with also little nuggets of facts of like debuting in this tour, hasn't played this since 2014. So I don't know if they've got somebody that's in there like, I want that job, like where you can
No, I think it's just. I think it's fan
it's
based.
just
I
all
think fans do it. Yeah,
algorithms and
fans can
yeah.
edit stuff. So people that are there can, because I used it in 2016 back then, and then
Okay.
when you went to Austin City Limits and a couple other shows where I'm just like constantly checking to see
Okay.
what
Yeah, and I always did
the
a
shows
Chain
are.
of Flowers, I guess, used to do it, but I don't think they're
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But so yeah, pretty cool. And also for that first show in particular, the Cure on This Day account was the one that saved the day for me. And the Instagram doing like the live stream for the songs there, I was kind of
Oh yeah,
frantically
yeah.
looking around. I don't know if others ended up doing it or what, but yeah, that was really cool. So huge shout out to them if they somehow hear this. But so Helsinki sound like they're crushing it, doing good again. It's a pretty solid list. So you like the Riga set list better because of the more disintegration ones over these?
Yeah,
Even though
but like this is like I like now that I'm looking at it more, I'm just like other than I mean you could swap out 39 in the Hungry Ghost for like two songs that I don't really like
yeah.
or that I really wouldn't don't really want to see. Outside of If Only Tonight We Could Sleep, I do like that they're throwing in bunches of songs from one album, and
Yeah.
17 seconds is just so cool. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, it's like you get to like almost listened to the whole entire album. Disintegration was 7 songs, and then how many from
From Pornography for the
Pornography?
next night. I think just the 3 for the
Three.
encore, and then I don't
Yeah,
know if they played any outside of that.
but
Yeah,
still,
it doesn't look
there's
like it.
only what 9 songs on this, 8 songs on that
Yeah,
album.
so that's a good chunk.
So, and it's like the
Yeah,
three best songs: "Cold," "A Strange Day," and "100 Years." I mean,
yeah.
they're doing a great job.
Should we go? Yeah, keep up the great work, guys.
Keep it up, guys.
Should we move on to Stockholm then? All
Absolutely.
right, 2 days later, October 10th, and Colleen has joined the crowd on this one. So I don't know
Yay.
if I told her just make sure she's enjoying herself. So hopefully, if she sends anything, we'll add it on to the next episode or in between update. But otherwise, I'm sure she had a good time because it was a pretty rad set list again.
Yeah.
And most notably on the top with the topic of these encores that are themed. She got a pornographic encore theme, and pulling out Cold again, and the debut of Strange Day and 100 Years on this tour. So while not
And
crazy
Primary.
rare, but hearing them all together, yeah. And Primary makes its debut and the first song from Faith to be covered on any of these shows, which was a bit shocking. I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's the first Faith one. And I guess
So let's say the next night they play a Faith encore. What 3 to 4 songs off Faith do you think they should play?
that I would
Primary?
hope they play, or that they'll probably play.
That they'll probably play. Just
Yeah, Primary, because now that they got that warmed up, that would definitely be one of
Yeah.
them. Drowning Man seems to be a pretty regular one that they would pull out over like All Cats Are Gray, or something
Yeah.
like. I would like All
What about
Cats
the
Are Gray,
Holy Hour?
yeah, that could be. It would be rad if they did like Primary, Drowning Man, and Faith. Those are all
Yeah, that'd
fairly.
be really cool.
I think everybody wants to hear the song Faith, but that usually.
Everybody wants to hear Funeral Party.
Yeah. Funeral Party, All Cats Are Gray, and just Doubt would be great, but they never
Yeah,
play that.
yeah.
So I guess, yeah, actually, realistically, it would probably be Primary, Other Voices, and Drowning Man.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think would
yeah.
be. So, but
Yeah.
we'll see. That it does seem to be like the one that would be next if they do it, or they could backtrack to Three Imaginary Boys, which has surprisingly not been represented at all by
Yeah.
any of them. Technically, Boys Don't Cry, if you count the Boys Don't Cry merger album of the
Yeah.
era or whatever. But yeah, nothing from Three Imaginary Boys so far,
Yeah.
which is
That grinding halt and killing an Arab and like all of those
Fire in
songs bunched
Cairo.
together.
There's a couple of those that aren't too, unrealistic. So yeah, that would be cool.
You could see that. Yeah.
Um,
So anyway, getting back to the third night,
yes,
I
yes.
just
Yeah,
got
no problem.
a fantasy.
It's impossible to
stuff
go
going
tight.
on.
Yeah. So, how about you? Do you think that would probably be the most realistic for Faith though, or would
Probably, but I would like to hear a Holy Hour. Primary would be on there, and I mean they would never play Funeral Party, but
yeah.
uh, probably Faith. I mean that seems like the more realistic one that they would go with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love. Oh my god, I would love to look around after Funeral Party and see what's going. Feel the mood.
Totally.
Just leave, shut off the lights, and just that's the final song.
Well, this show got the third new song debuted too. So that was And Nothing Is Forever. And that came at the end. Where was that? Around the middle, right?
The middle,
6
yeah.
songs in. So that was cool. Just to give you a little tip on the song, though, it has some chimes in it. So a little kind of disintegration chimes come in for a second.
While you were talking a little bit, I started playing it in the background a little bit, and I was
Nice.
like, "Wow, this is really good." So,
Yeah, it's a little different because it's maybe a little bit more melodic in a traditional sense of like has a little piano part that's real pretty, and the guitar part has like a little hook that kind of comes back and
Yeah.
forth a little bit, and but definitely has the same kind of vibe and feel where it'll fit wonderfully on this doom and gloom album. Yeah.
What's up with this band and putting chimes in songs and those songs turning out to be amazing? Like it's just like
you would think that they would just be like, we can't do it again, should we? Should we? And they're like, fuck it, do it. And it just seems so natural. As soon as they put it in, it's never like, okay. But
like plain song hit underneath the stars, that works too.
It's like when in doubt, just
fuck are you
put
guys
some
doing?
fucking chimes in.
He needs to be sitting by wind chimes more often to get some inspiration. That's what's going on.
And I think like nobody else could really pull that off. You know, if somebody just had this super cool moody song and then they just were like in the middle, everyone's like, come on, man. You can't do that. That's the Cure's trick.
My 80-year-old neighbor just stepped outside their house and like the wind just blew
hit the chimes, right? Is it? Yeah. So, but yeah, I love it. And see, Robert's playing a shaker at the beginning of it too.
Yep.
And again, that was kind of my Perry thought too, is that maybe Robert was just kind of wanted to back off on guitar a little bit more and focus on singing on songs and stuff on this tour. But he doesn't seem to everything he plays. He's pretty much always played on. But maybe on these new songs though,
I've seen a few shots where he's getting pictures taken, like where he's not wearing a guitar. So
yeah, so now of the 3 songs, 2 of them, I'm pretty sure the whole thing he doesn't play guitar on. He's just singing. The end song one he plays for a while because that has a real long build up. But so yeah, maybe that's part of wanting to have that extra guitar for Perry, because he always kind of doubled Robert really well, like in the Wish era when he would just kind of play what Robert was doing a lot. And yeah, could be cool. So yeah, I don't know, the lyrics sound cool on all these. They seem maybe, just super, not like overly like I don't know how to describe it, where the way like Disintegration kind of just gets really kind of flowery almost with the analogies and stuff and painting these images. It seems almost a little very straightforward, just like you're gone, it's nothing, like these kind of short like I don't know, I would almost be worried that they're not like flowery enough or something, but I think it really is hitting the point, what he wants to make out of it. But at the same time, it's like, whoa, all right, and even though people
he's not angry, at least.
Yeah, exactly. I just keep going back to that. I'm just like so happy he's not angry and yelling.
Angry Robert doesn't work.
Nah, he can moan and cry at me all day, but it's just the yelling. I don't need that.
Cynical Robert works.
Yeah,
like cynical skating, that kind of Robert works, but not angry. It doesn't come off very well. I don't know why.
Yeah, totally. Might be my favorite. I don't know. I love the drums on that opening one, or maybe it's the second one. Now I'm confusing them, but one of them has like a very like kind of disintegration-y loop, like Jason's really playing his ass off kind of vibe. I was like, oh yeah, that's badass. Yeah, so this one might be the catchiest one though so far, I think. But I'm not really catching any, statements anybody's saying on general vibes of the crowd. Are they totally losing their shit? Or people being cool? Everyone still know how to behave at shows after whatever, So yeah, it's hard to tell from afar. We're trying to do these reviews from watching cell phone footage and stuff. So but again, it seems like they're really tight. The ones I've been watching of songs I know very well, they sound like they've never stopped or anything. And
I don't know how you do it. You're like just constant, like it's a machine almost, but like a very sincere and heartfelt machine.
And enthusiasm levels seem there. It's not like they're bored or going through the motions already or anything. So I'm pretty excited to see what continues on and how that all unfolds. And I don't know, with Stockholm thrown into the mix of the 3, is there one that you're most envious of, you think?
I'm still just with the first one, just with like all my favorite not all my favorite Disintegration songs, but just like not being able to see I'm still very upset about the whole disintegration in Australia thing.
Yeah.
Uh, and not being able to see that. Like it's like something that kind of wish I could. So it's about the closest thing you'll get.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
and
don't
just
know.
the
And just like
opening
have
night is
being the
a
first night,
yeah,
like
that's a huge, especially after
uh,
with the Perry surprise and everything too. They're
yeah,
like, "What? Holy crap! Is that fucking Perry up there?"
yeah. So
Everybody,
I say it's still got to be that one. So
yeah. This third one would probably be the next. I would say just because the pornography block was cool and the fact that it has three new songs, so that's kind of rad. Yeah. And
and does not have tonight. If only tonight we could sleep.
yeah,
So
I
that's
like
a
that song.
positive for
It's a
me.
cool chill out song. I would take that over a lot of the other ones, but it does have 39, so
And the Hungry
and
Ghost.
Hungry.
So you kind
So
of
they can have every combo down by the end. So yeah, I mean, I guess at what point I wonder, how many shows in will we have seen them all, or will there always be something that they kind of dig up in a sound check? You kind of wonder how long they keep the shuffle going before we crack the code. Like it seems to be
yeah.
like most Cure things. After a while, you're like, all right, I've seen pretty much every combo that they could possibly do with the songs that they have, and but they are still pretty good at that. Like, or even the last week or something, they could just rehearse something during sound check and be like, it's good enough. Let's throw that in. So
I would love to see them put like a song they haven't played like each night in like in the set. So
yeah,
like they haven't played in a long time. Like Trust on the first night, and then what was the second night? I guess Cold or even Charlotte sometimes.
yeah. It's always a weird level of like some are just more rare, but not necessarily like a
Yeah,
holy shit they've never done that kind of thing. But yeah,
Primary was a cool one. Yeah, just stuff like that would be cool. So,
yeah.
but
Keep
we
everybody
will
on their
see.
toes. But yeah, they're pretty good at it. So most bands you can crack it by the second show, I think, and know their whole set list for the tour. But they
Well,
still,
that's the cool thing is that with the Cure is like it's not like other bands where every night is going to be the same set list
yeah,
night after night after night, and so each night you're gonna you're gonna get these same classics, but you're gonna get stuff that's either switched around or it's gonna be a different song switched out. So it's gonna be a different night each night.
for
So
sure. so, so yeah, and on my overall thoughts, I think we probably touched on a lot of these already, but like we're saying, some notable absences with Why Can't I Be You, Never Enough. High is kind of a strange one that hasn't popped up. That seemed
oh
pretty
yeah,
regular for a
yeah.
long time. And already not getting the vibe aside from these little mini encore themes. We're not getting like a full Wish heavy like
I
set or pornography set kind of deal. So that's a little,
I feel like a Wish night is coming. Like
yeah.
not the full album, but they're gonna go with like the encore is gonna be like High and A Letter to Elise and I don't fucking know
Yeah.
Wendy Time.
Yeah. I could see them, yeah, if they follow the pattern of the Riga show where they're still opening with the Alone, the new song, but they'll sprinkle in some of the singles where it doesn't seem super
Hmm.
obvious to the set, but then they'll do a Wish encore where they open with Open, and it'll be like a
Yeah,
little weird and that, and then End or something would be kind of cool. But yeah, it's a little odd where it seems pretty concrete that the regular set is going to be the new songs for the opener and closer on every show. Probably, they might just
yeah.
say fuck it at some point and change it up. But seems like that's the pattern for that anyway. Let's Go to Bed. They haven't done. Usually they always buddy that up
Oh
with the
shit, yeah.
Walk. And only a little odd because it's the 40th anniversary of that this year, which I wanted to do a little episode on that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the forgotten anniversary this year that's came out.
I think it's I like that song more than the walk. So
Yeah, I'd
I'd rather
probably
hear that one.
rather have it in. It'll probably pop up at some point, I would imagine. But
Yeah.
I don't know. He loves his anniversaries, so it seems like.
Well, that's one. Yeah. Which is why I'm surprised there hasn't been like a wish night yet.
Yeah, maybe he's.
I know it's only
waiting.
3 nights in.
Yeah,
But
yeah, maybe he's waiting for when it gets closer to the release. Finally. Who knows?
who knows? We'll see.
The mind of Robert. I don't know. I think we'll just keep it short and sweet like that, since there's about to be 43 more shows. What 40, 42? So there's a lot to cover and a lot of ground to. Let's see where they off to next. Norway, Oslo tomorrow. So by the time hopefully I'll get this up, something crazy will happen then, and this will all be outdated anyway. It won't even matter. But so yeah, it'll be curious to see where it goes and how it stretches from there. And then I think we start on the 3 show stretches. Right? Is tomorrow the first of? Yeah, tomorrow's the first.
They go Oslo, Sweden, Denmark.
Yeah.
3 nights in a row. This was the part of the tour that I was kind of jealous the most, because it's like the part of the world I want to go to the most.
Yeah, it would be
Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark.
Yeah,
And
that would be cool.
It is what it is.
Yeah. We'll get our chance, I promise, man. They're coming. Rest of the world shows getting announced any day now. So yeah, we'll see. And hopefully, these 3, they got all the kinks worked out with these first 3 days. All the visual stuff seemed cool. It's a little hard to tell from phones footage and stuff, but it looked similar to like the 2016 backdrop.
Yeah.
Cool stuff going on, but that's kind of rad. Looks like a good light show and everything still, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything less from these guys at this point. So I'm not gonna just hang a curtain up there. So
And they could do that and we would be all happy.
yeah, it'd still be cool. Cool. So I guess we'll wrap on that note, unless you have any other thoughts or concerns.
No, just still super jealous, but can't really do anything about it. So
yeah, exactly. Well, cool. Well, thanks everybody out there. Again, if anyone's at one of these shows and wants to send us a quick little, all you gotta do is like while you're walking back to your car, just record into your voice memo. This was the most amazing night ever. I can't believe they played The Hungry Ghost, my favorite Cure song. And the crowd was great. There was this crazy person that I met that has been to every Cure, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Feel free to just hit it and send it, and it's that easy. We'll attach it to the show and hopefully get some scoop from the front lines. If not, we'll just keep looking at Setlist FM and keep everybody filled in and lock these down for the archives. I think it'd be cool to kind of preserve all this for 10 years from now when people are wondering about the tour and they got the play-by-play from us at least, and they'll know exactly what songs were played.
yeah, it sucks there wasn't something like that in 1982 or 3. Where you could document their tour. That would be so rad.
So this will be forever, and we can make it as elaborate as everybody wants. So feel free to send that, even photos and stuff too. Feel free to send it our way. We'll put it in the threads for each block that we cover anyway. So cool, but more importantly, be safe out there, everybody, if you are traveling around, and be cool in the hotels, man. Just don't lurk. Don't be a creepo.
That guy.
Cool. And I guess in Sweden, so I guess that would be the most recent form of farewell. Farval is Swedish for farewell, so it's the only foreign language quotes I've learned for this week. But we'll be back with maybe some. We're coming up on Germany. I can do some German. So.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Chaz. Yes. And thanks to you guys out there for listening. We'll catch you on the next round, and talk hard. All right, again, a very special thank you to Chaz for joining me in the late hours, and you guys for listening. can't leave without a shout out to our Patreon. Patreon.com/The Holy Hour Podcast is a wonderful place to go check out and see if you want to support the show and be a part of some side action over there. So go check it out like Donna did. Craig, Jeff Hilton, Jeff Cortland Jones, Suzanne, Ben, John, Allison, Alan, Dione, Namicio, Danny, Coulter, and Matt Ford over in the UK. Of course, that sounds like a wonderful lineup of cool people that you should be a part of. So join it, check it out. Dana is also part of that team over there, and she would like you to know that she is a talented artist, editor, 2D animator, motion graphic designer, and VFX artist. You can check out her work at vimeo.com/Dana Dale. DANADALE. And reach out if you're ready to let her make your business or project look way cooler than it probably really is. All kinds of cool video animated art over there. Go check it out. Vimeo.com/Dana Dale. Scott and the boys are working hard over there at Sarlacc Digest, the all Star Wars podcast, and they invite all Star Wars loving Cure fans on over to watch their live shows that stream every Wednesday Pacific time, 8 p.m. And that's on YouTube, and you can also catch the replays everywhere that you listen to podcasts. But I suggest go to the live shows. It's fun. You get to be a part of the action in the chat room. Every week they bring you quality line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. Scott is currently over in the UK. I don't know what he's doing. He's about a month and a half early, so I hope he's hanging out. Maybe he moved over there. I wouldn't blame him. But yeah, so it looks like he's having a blast. Safe travels to you, Scott. And Lisa says check out DickensYYC.com. It's a website for a totally cool venue up in Calgary. They host a wide range of live shows and events. Go to DickensYYC.com to see the full list of shows and details coming up. And as always, follow them on Twitch too, where you can see some live streaming action, courtesy of DickensYYC. Matt says, don't be a fool. Check out the Red Cross Blood Donor app and start saving some lives. It's free, it's easy to use. Schedule an appointment, donate some blood. Wondering what you should do with all that money that you didn't use to fly to Europe? Well, I know what you should do. You should go on over to CureThreads.com, where you can find Kate's original Cure-inspired artwork on everything from a large range of products: shirts, sweatshirts, coffee mugs, cell phone cases, the whole works. So go on over there as the holiday seasons are somehow approaching again. Oh my God, is it this time? Get an early jump on it. Go to CureThreads.com and or just get a straight up print of some of her amazing artwork. That's what I recommend. And last but not least, Chaz in 17_seconds is his handle on Instagram, and that's where you want to follow him so he can hook you up with even more amazing Cure wear and accessories. I believe he has some super cool wish and pornography buttons that are still up for pre-order, so go to 17secondsshirts.bigcartel.com and get a jump on those before the pre-sale is over. All right. Also check out Chaz's podcast, his other podcast, Excommunication Station, and Antonio's other podcast, Nobody Speaks. Both quality programs I recommend more than ever. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram as these tour reviews and episodes start popping up. We're going to be a little off schedule, so when they're ready, fresh out of the oven, I'm going to hand deliver them to you. Well, not like literally, but they'll pop up. So if you're subscribed, they'll come right to you. So subscribe on Apple, YouTube, everywhere that lets you subscribe. Otherwise, thanks so much. Facebook page, follow us on there so you can comment your Lost World Tour observations for each batch of shows that we post on. And if you want to get in touch with me directly or send me a soundbite from one of these shows that you're going to, it's more fun when you guys get involved. So just email me at gavinconnor@gmail.com. Send your clip straight on over. You don't even have to say hello. Just be like, hey, this is my clip, my thoughts. So we'll leave you with that, and onward to Oslo.